Hey Wanderers, and welcome back to Outlaws Wanted. Last time, Sully began to develop a new power, seeing regular people well in the cognitive realm, and also drawing them into the cognitive realm with him. Using this power, the team hatched a secret plan with Captain Ivana to free her ship from the Watchers. All of you are in the lockup room where your supplies were being held. The alarm is going off. You can hear footsteps coming down the hall towards the closed door. What is everybody doing?
All right, gang, time to go.
Sounds good to me.
So I think we're just, trying to exit this area and avoid the footsteps, and then head toward... Do we know where the Watcher is? Because of Sully?
You do not have an exact location. You could try to find one, but it'll be a roll. And when you say leave this area, understand you are basically dead-ended in this room.
Oh.
Now, doesn't mean that it's impossible to get out in other ways, but what it means is the door is where the footsteps are coming from and are going to be here quickly. Does that make sense?
Yes.
What's in this room?
So, without a roll, what is in this room was basically a desk with a computer screen that was meant to manage inventory, and then walls of lockers where people's possessions were being held. Because this would have been if someone got drunk and disorderly on the ship, this is where they would take away their stuff, throw them there to dry them out kind of place, you know? Okay. Or in this case, they found prisoners, throw them in here, put their stuff in there.
So it's not like a storage room.
I mean, it is. It's just not a massive storage room. It'd be like a wall of lockers that you guys found your stuff in and got it out.
Okay.
That's without a roll. If there's something else specific that you're looking for, you can roll to find it. All right. And
no.
Mal.
I would like to use my Quiet in the Storm to try to find potential new solutions in a dangerous situation.
All right.
The kind of thing I'm looking for is I'm looking for alternate escape routes.
Okay. Roll that.
So I'm sitting at a 9. Is that worth using our camaraderie point on?
Do we have camaraderie?
We have 1. We should have 1 from last time. I don't think it ever got marked on the sheet.
If it didn't, I'm comfortable with you having 1 camaraderie.
Yeah, we had 1 from a help out a friend or support a friend, whatever, that failed, but we still get 1 camaraderie for that. Yeah, I'm going to use it, so I have a 10.
So with a 10, there are a few things that you could think of. Ventilation has to exist to this. You could get into vents. Power has to be brought to this room. There's probably some kind of utility tubes that you might be able to shimmy into if you want to try to find those.
All I can picture is the Arkham Batman games where all the vents are the exact size for someone to squat down and crawl through.
Yeah, I mean, if this is a fun universe, why would you not have crawl-throughable vents? And I would say at this point, you now hear knocking on the door and muffled talking from behind it.
Oh, okay.
Are we fighting our way through Captain Malcolm Llewellyn, or are we trying something else?
Well, I think there's got to be vents and power ducts around here somewhere. Let's see if we can find one and get out this way, because I don't fancy our chances fighting through, because I'm sure they're going to have wave after wave.
Can I work on barricading the door while they find vents to escape through?
You most definitely can.
Can I barricade the door instead and you set up a bomb so when they open the door it explodes?
Sure.
What do I roll for that, Cody?
To try to barricade the door, act under pressure.
That's cool. That'll be a 9 for me.
Okay, so you start barricading the door, and basically, there's not a lot you can pile up in front of it, but you're able to begin to try to, fuse the door and jam up some of the gears that would, crank the door open. But someone manages to stick a blaster through and start firing at you, and you take 1 damage.
You said there's a computer?
Yes.
Okay, Vaya's gonna, crouch behind the desk, but so that she can still see the computer. I want to try to bring up a map.
Okay. Roll me an investigation.
I rolled a 7 for making a bomb.
Okay, so you have made a bomb, and your intention is if someone opens the door, it's going to explode?
Yes.
Okay, I know what the potential negative of that is going to be, and it will become relevant later. Vika, you were rolling an investigation check, correct?
Yes.
How'd that go?
That's sharp, correct?
That is sharp.
That's a 10.
Okay, so with a 10, you are able to find an entire map of the ship and transfer it onto your little personal computer, whatever that thing is.
Perfect.
And if specifically you were looking for a communication room, you now have a location for that. It's not super close by, but it is near-ish by. You you're going to have to get across the ship to get there.
Yeah. My goal was just to have that available so that we know what direction we're going in as soon as we get out of this room. Hang on.
Yep.
We got noise from everybody tonight. Yeah, my goal with that was just to make sure we knew where we were going once we got out of this room.
Yep. All right. And Sully, you said you were looking for the vents, right?
Wait, no, Mal.
Are you talking to Mal?
Oh, I thought Sully was looking for the vents.
No.
I barricaded the door.
Oh, you barricaded the door. Oh, right. Sorry. Okay, so who's looking for the vents?
That would be Mal, and Mal is going to he wants to try to reference that map that Vi just acquired to figure out which escape route would be the best escape route.
Oh,
to get us where we want to go.
Okay, roll a plus one on that, and make an investigation roll.
Oh boy, that is a 14.
Dang.
Wow. Okay.
Well, yeah, I rolled an 11, plus 1 for my sharp, plus 1 for my personal robot assistant that I always forget that I have, and plus 1 for the map.
Plus 1 for the personal robot assistant I need to kill, apparently. No,
yeah, right. Well, I mean, okay, then without that, it's a 13.
Siri, which vent is the best?
Okay, Google, how best to get out of this room?
You should try Waze.
With a 14, you know that probably the best bet is not the ventilation and is the electrical conduits, because the ventilation, it's very possible that they could blast hot air in there and, like, suffocate you, whereas the electrical, there is going to be a lot less ability for them to mess with you.
Okay. I want to try to get that open and get us going through it.
All right. You pop open the ventilation and start making your way through the ship.
You mean the power?
Oh, sorry. You pop open the power and start making your way through the ship.
Before we do that, can I cut open the ventilation one as well?
Oh, that's very smart. Yes, you can. I'll just say that that's done. You all drop into the electrical power delivery system. It is like, you can see tubing and piping in there that is clearly like carrying big thick power wires and communication cabling throughout the ship. But mostly it's just kind of like a crawlway that you can shimmy your way through. As soon as all of you are inside of there and starting to make your way through the ship, you hear a rumble and an explosion, and you hear screams. And that is all.
Excellent.
Where is everybody heading?
I think we're all sticking together to get to the comm room.
Okay, so comm room is where you're going first?
Yeah, I think that's at least where Vi would be heading.
Okie doke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Vi's gonna go anywhere else, and I think we should stick together at this point.
I agree.
Yep. And seeing as Vi has the map, I don't really want to branch out on it on our own.
Oh, right. Yeah. I was going to say, no, Vi does not have the map yet. Oh, the map of the ship, right. Too many maps we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
These MacGuffins need better specific names like MacGuffin A and MacGuffin 2 and MacGuffin 3.
No, Cody, the joke is MacGuffin A, MacGuffin 2, MacGuffin I.
Don't tell me my jokes. I know my jokes. Okay, all of you are crawling your way through the ship. This is going to be a long and arduous journey. Is there anything that anyone wants to establish while you are on your way?
Jyla's not a fan of small spaces. Crawl spaces. Why did it always have to be crawl spaces?
Anything else? This is a moment where, like, you know when you're playing Grand Theft Auto, or like, I think Red Dead had this, where like you can be on a cart, like Skyrim, you're on a cart traveling somewhere, and your NPC will make small talk with you until you hit skip. You basically have to tell me when to hit skip. Until then, you're just like, thunk, 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 crawling your way through the ship. Laboriously.
Right, I want to roleplay this whole thing. Let's make this a 15-part arc of just us crawling through the ship.
Every 5 minutes or every 30 seconds, the loop for Jyla repeats. I really hate small spaces. Waits 30 seconds. I really hate small spaces.
I kind of prefer the idea that instead what's happening is Sully is saying that, making fun of Jyla.
Crawling through? A sword man? I'm more of a bowman myself. I really hate small spaces.
Yeah, I don't think we're doing
You're all
much.
staring at me quietly. You have to tell me when you're done with this part.
I just said I don't think we're doing much.
Skip.
End scene.
Yes, we're all good.
All right, cool. Scene ends. You've all hit skip. Good job hitting X to skip cutscene. We're gonna say like probably 3-4 hours later, you are all very cramped and very tired and very sweaty in this little tube.
We've been crawling for 3 hours?
The ship is the size of a city.
Good lord, though.
And you were in prison, not in the communication area.
I like the idea, though, that we're going to be extra cautious to just climb through vents all afternoon. Not wait a half an hour, pop out somewhere, and start moving.
How far away is the communication room from where the honor is, or would be?
Not close at all.
Are we going, like, in the opposite direction?
Well, I'm trying to think of the right way to say this. There aren't, like, distances on this ship. I don't have a map. You are an event away. Like, you're not nearby. You couldn't just walk over there. You would have to...
I understand that. What I'm asking is, are we going opposite directions, or are we going kind of in the same direction? Like, are we opposite, or are we roughly the same direction?
I think he's saying it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to say it doesn't matter because that feels mean, but, like, you won't have to go back to the room that you got your stuff from to get to the cargo bay. It's just, like, this is not on the way. It's an entirely different area of the ship.
Okay.
And, like, the distances and exact numbers don't matter. Getting to the cargo bay to get to your ship would be like, you would have to do something to get there. You'd either have to crawl through more vents and find more vents to crawl or, power tunnels or whatever to get there, or you'd have to get on a tram, or you'd have to walk across the ship. You'd have to do something to get over there, and that something could happen in that interview. It's basically one roll away, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whatever way you decide to get there, it's either going to be, you might get seen by guards, or you might get seen by a camera, or, whatever.
Okay.
Okay, so, moving through the ship, you have gotten to you can see a huge bundle of cables that are all, like, data transfer cables, and then, like, one big power cable coming up to a room that, based on the map that Vika found, you are fairly certain is the communication room. You can see there's a few different places you could access this. Like, either you could, like, basically cut a hole in, like, the main computer panel that's used to operate all this stuff, or there's maybe some other panels around that you could, like, knock out and try to squirrel through that way. Because it's, like, people weren't exactly meant to travel this way, so it's not super convenient. But you're blind as to what is in this room and what this room looks like. You know what I mean?
Oh, so you basically hit the dead end of the power tunnel, and there's no, like, window.
It's not a dead end. It's just this is where the communication is, and there isn't, like, it's like an underground tunnel. There isn't, like, a window. It's like people aren't meant to travel this way like this.
Yeah, I think Vi is going to take out her tools and, as quietly as possible, basically, like, make a window for us so that we can peer in before just falling out and getting in the middle of stuff.
Gotcha. Make me I'm going to say this is one of those times when normally you would be act under pressure, but you can use your sharp instead of cool.
Okay.
Because you're doing something with technology.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I was, in my head, I use my tough with the drill, but that's when it's a gun, so.
Yes, correct.
Well, that's a 15.
Holy.
All right, so what you're able to do is find, like, a tiny, minute display light that's like a power good indicator, right? And you unthread that from the control console and just, like, pull it in and let it hang inside the tunnel with you. And you're able to kind of, like, close your eye and peek in. And what you see inside is that the room is manned by 3 people. They seem indifferent. Like, they're not really heavily armed. They would all have, like, probably blasters at their sides, And they all kind of just have their feet up. Their job is clearly to communicate back to their home world, but generally the Watcher does that right now, so they don't really have anything to do. And yeah, they're just, like, sitting here chilling. Oh, yeah. And then, inside the room, there's, like, a closed door. It's about the size of, like, a largish office. There isn't a lot in there. Is there anything else specific that you want to know about the inside of the room?
I don't.
How many doors in?
Yeah.
I would say there's only one.
Okay.
Do we need does it look, I don't know if we could see that. Never mind.
Well, ask the question.
What would be like, do we need a code in order to use the communication?
Oh, that would be difficult to tell from here.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Are there any other questions you guys have about the room in general before you...
Even if we did, well, I don't know, if it's a code, that's one thing, but don't we have, what's her name's, like, badge.
We have her badge, but if it's like you punch a pin.
Yeah,
then
exactly.
no.
No, everything's gonna be like scanning, like you do like with like a cruise line or like a hotel pass. You just scan it and logs you in.
I mean, not to put too fine a point on it, but if that's a concern you have, it might not be a terrible idea to not murder everybody in the room.
Quick question, Vika. I understand we want to let Camilla know about this, but if we transmit a signal, won't they be able to figure out where our base of operations is?
Outlaws have a VPN, don't they?
Check out NordVPN.
Hey, no free promotions. If Nord wants us, they gotta pay us.
So yeah, I was actually thinking the same thing. I'm glad we're kind of on the same page about this. Legit, I was actually going to ask Vi the same question.
So I have an answer for that, which is doing this is going to be a role. Like, no matter what, trying to do this communication is going to be a role. Failing will have some kind of consequence, just like anything you do always does. There is always a risk of it going badly. So if given a successful roll, I would assume that there is a method of encryption that you can use to like bounce the signal around and not make it immediately clear where you're talking to. If you bring this up, it might behoove you not to just say the coordinates out loud in the conversation, but when would you ever do that anyways? But no, it's a good question, like, to bring up. I would say, for me, as like a GM, I would consider that like a failure condition.
So obviously I don't know this system very well, but I'm pretty sure that I can scramble the information, first of all. Second of all, I'm more concerned about sending out coordinates so that she knows where we are. And 3, we have a backup plan. So she knows if something happens, we have somewhere at least temporarily to escape to. So as much as I would love for Captain Ivana to not give the map to the Watcher or Chaos, at this point Camilla needs to know in case they do get a hold of it.
All right.
But just so y'all are aware, there are 3 guys in there. They're just chilling, as far as I can tell. Maybe leave one alive just in case we have to, or we need them to get into the communication system.
I can pull some into the cognitive realm and let them chill out there if we want as well.
That sounds like a great idea. I really like this new way of taking people out. It's very handy.
I would agree.
And hopefully we won't have to kill any of them anyway. I kind of don't really fancy the idea of killing them if we can avoid it.
I don't feel one way or the other as long as I get information to Camilla right now.
All right, Cody. I drop into the cognitive realm.
Okay.
Real quick, because I was going to ask this before the conversation started.
No, you're good.
We've been gone for about 3 to 4 hours, and these guys aren't paying attention to the monitors.
What do you mean?
I think they're not doing security.
Well,
They're not surveillance.
Okay, they're not surveillance, but they aren't letting people know that we're gone. Like, there's no high alert.
Like nobody's put them on alert.
Oh, well, probably, yeah, they're like prisoners have escaped. We saw them on cameras very far away from here, but they don't know where you're going.
Okay.
Like, Ivana would think you're going to kill again, ship the size of a city, you're 3 people.
That's totally fair. I just wanted to make sure that there wouldn't have been a reason for them to be on high alert, but okay.
Okay, so, Sully, you drop into the cognitive realm. At this point, it is super easy. When you do, you see that same eye way off in the distance, but much closer to you, you can see those, like, vague kind of goldish silhouettes of 3 people very close to you. What do you do?
How many of them can I pull in at once?
Ooh, that's a great question, Zach.
That could also be, like, depending on my role, you know.
It does depend on your role. I think at best 2 at once. And then they're going to be aware that they just fainted. And then you're going to have a 3rd person there. And if you fail, it's going to be less than 2.
Right. I figured they can handle what's ever left over. I figured they're going to figure out, like, well, Sully made 2 of them faint. Go.
All right.
All right, I'm going to try to make them faint. 10.
All right. So you reach into the cognitive realm and grab the two people, I'll say, that were closest to you. And yeah, so you grab their silhouettes, will them into the cognitive realm, and you can see them like kind of materialize on those silhouettes. So they're not just like kind of like goldish shadows anymore, but rather solid people. They both go, did we just pass out? And then the other three of you hear from inside the room, Daryl? Leo? Are you guys okay? What's happening? And, alright, now it's on the three of you.
I think we burst into the room.
Okay, you burst into the room?
Yeah, Giles gonna burst in and try to knock him out with a punch, I think.
Okay.
Unless Vi has a blaster. Maybe Vi should do that. Never mind. Giles does not do that.
Vi, you burst into the room. Roll blast some baddies.
Yep.
I just imagine this, like, Jyla going in ready to punch and then, like, steps over so she thinks Vi will, like, stun them. And you just see Vi with a railgun shoot the dude.
I mean, I don't have a stun setting on this. That's a 10.
Okay, so with a 10, you just pop into the room, open fire, and the remaining person... Okay, so I will say you do not have a stun setting, but it is up to you how mortally you are trying to wound this person. Are you trying to mortally wound this person, or, like, what's the goal? That was the cat.
No, I know. She is so
Loud?
jittery.
Yeah.
I would say not trying to fatally wound, so probably something to knock him to his knees, like take out his kneecap or something.
Okay, so you burst in the room and lightly maim this guy. He falls on the ground and is kind of like breathing hard and panting as he like throws his hands up and is immediately surrendering. And then an alarm starts sounding in the room and it just says, "Intruders in the communication room. Intruders in the communication room."
Can I look for a camera in the room?
You can. Make an investigation check.
Guess that means we gotta move fast.
It's a 7.
So you have to scurry out into the room, which means whatever camera is there can now see you. And you look up and make, like, direct eye contact with the camera as this thing is now staring at you.
Okay. Can I hit it with my particle axe?
You can make a blast some baddies roll.
That's an 8.
Okay, you leap up in the air and chop at it, but I mean, it's like, it's a difficult chop, and you can just see that, like, you know, broken wires and fractured thing as you leave a jagged cut in the ceiling, but you are pretty confident you have destroyed the camera that's in this room. Meanwhile, in the cognitive realm, Sully, there are two Interstellar Council, like, radar technicians just sitting in the room in the cognitive realm with you. What do you do?
And you didn't name one of them Matt. I'm very upset with you.
I did not name one of them Matt, because it did not occur to me until just now that they're basically radar technicians.
Hello, how are you guys? Anything I can do to make you more comfortable while you are here?
Did you kidnap our brains?
It's more separating your spirits from your bodies temporarily, but sure, kidnap your brain works too.
That sounds permanent. We're terrified. As you're having this conversation, the eye swivels around and stares directly at you and starts to drift towards you. Back in the real world, what do you do?
Vi is going to toss her the particle magnetism stake thrower that she got at the end of the last episode to Mal and say, "Tell him to turn off the alarm." And she's going to go and send her signal to Camilla.
Got it. Okay, so we're going to handle that sending the signal first. Make me a I'm going to say this is technologically related again, so you can make an act under pressure roll, but you can use sharp instead of cool because of your class ability.
Cool. And I'm going to use that's actually my faction ability. I'm going to use my class ability of knowing something about a ship, to say that I can figure out this, communication system really easily.
Okay, I like that.
Okay, not as good, but still a 9.
Okay. Do you want to call or do you want to send a message?
I want to send a message because I think that'll be easier to quote unquote scramble.
Okay, what do you want that message to be?
I want that message to be the coordinates of where we are right now, because I imagine they're different from where Jyla, Salvador, and Lucy's ship was. Okay. So that she knows we're somewhere different. Send something along the lines of like SOS. Like this is super short, right? You know, yes. 140 characters or less type of message. So coordinates, SOS, and I think that we would have had like a code yellow or something, you know, where it's like this is the time to move.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think that's what she sends as like if we don't get this map back,
like be prepped to leave.
Yeah, be prepped to leave.
Okay, I like that. Okay, so that message goes sent. Meanwhile, Mal, you were asked to do something. Let's do that.
Yes, I'm gonna take the gun and pop out to the guy that's named on the ground and point it at him and say, how do we turn off this alarm?
You don't! What are you talking about, turn off the alarm? I didn't set the alarm, I got shot!
So you're saying there's no way to turn off the alarm from here?
I didn't trigger the alarm. No, not that I know of. I think the only thing you could do is chop the camera down.
Mal is going to go over to one of the terminals, and even though this isn't his area of expertise, he wants to see if there's a way he can, like, bypass the security protocols to disable this alarm, or maybe even cause a different alarm in a different place.
Okay, so two halves of this. Do you want to find out if what this person said was true, or do you want to try to disable the alarm?
I think I just want to try to disable the alarm. I think Mal would believe him.
Okay. Roll act under pressure. Yeah.
That is an 11.
You cannot disable the alarm, but you were able to sufficiently look at the system to, like, very loudly notice this is not something that like any terminal has the ability to do.
Oh, like it's a Watcher specific.
Well, I mean, I didn't say that, but you seem to be putting pieces together.
Yeah, that's what Jyla's piecing. Yeah.
Well, it seems like he's not lying to us. This alarm can't be turned off from any terminal. I'm guessing it's probably the Watcher that's controlling it.
Well, probably get a move on once the message gets sent to Camilla and get the hell out of here.
All right. Back in the cognitive realm. Sully, this eye is moving towards you very quickly. What do you do?
I'm going to talk with I'm going to prep myself for the eye coming, you know. Like, I'm not going to turn my back to it. So, things are a little bit alarming for you right now, but I can't really let you out of here, but I'm about to fight this eye. So, we have two options right now. Either I could knock you out here, because I can conjure literally anything you can think of, and worse, or you can join my team and help me fight this evil monster, free your ships, and start helping take back the Interstellar Council from this terrible monstrosity of a horrible thing.
Roll grease the wheels.
I'm bad at charm, though.
Well, I didn't make your character.
That's a 6, because I have a -1 in charm.
Oh.
No? What, is there an option where we don't fight a monster and where you don't imprison us in purgatory? Because we don't know you, and this is all... We are good at radars and, like, satellites and dishes. This is outside of our wheelhouse.
So they function as both the radar technicians and the cooks?
Sorry, when I say dishes, I mean, like...
I know.
Communication
I'm
dishes.
Cody.
You know, like satellite dishes.
Cody, it was a bit. Cody, I was doing a bit.
Do better bits!
Can I conjure basically like a jail cell for them to sit in?
You may. Are you doing anything else?
I don't think so. Well, do I pull one of them in and then drop them? No, I'm not going to do anything else. I'm just going to sit passed out on the floor waiting for the eye to come.
All right. You sit and wait. The eye approaches rapidly. What you immediately realize as this thing starts getting closer to you is Oh yeah, things here are to scale. And this was far away and very clearly an eye. This thing is massive. Like, stupid huge. Like 5 times taller than you. Gigantic eye with just an eyelid surrounding it. It is nondescript aside from that. Once it gets remotely close, you start just hearing a very plain, robotic almost voice that just says, "Death has arrived. Death has arrived." When it gets close to you, it stops. And noticeably, its vision shifts from you to the 2 others that you have left in the cognitive realm trapped in a cage, and it just goes, "Sheep for the slaughter." And a thick tendril of chaos energy rips from the pupil of the eye. You can see it like tear through the like iris and launches itself at the 2 people trapped in a cage, wraps around both of them, and you can see chaos starting to pour into them. What do you do?
Oh, this is perfect. I want to grab that tentacle and fill it with harmony.
Cool. Roll me weird.
Come on, this seems like it's cool. I want it to work. Well, that'll be a 10.
Ooh, good. So with a 10, the tendril just melts in your hand, and the 2 in the cage behind you just start screaming as the tentacle finally releases its hold on their neck. You can see viscous chaos beginning to leach into them that was left over from this tentacle being attached to them. And it's back around to you.
I'm gonna stab the eye. That seems like a good option.
Go for it.
So I form like a particle weapon out of my harmony.
Yep.
14.
Do you want to do extra damage or avoid taking damage?
I think I'll avoid taking damage right now.
All right. Okay, so with a 14, you dodge to the side before the eye just tears apart and just like a pasta nightmare of tentacles start ripping towards you as you can see like the blown out eyelid seeming impossibly to have contained all of these things. You leap to the side quickly before these tentacles could have immediately wrapped around you and ripped you to pieces and deliver a, like, paltry slash at this thing, which I don't say in an insulting way. I just mean, oh boy, does it feel like there's a long way to go for this cut that you have made on this thing.
I think it's, like, it may be paltry or not, but it feels very different than how Sully's done it before, where before it was, like, in response, and now it just feels like in defiance. You know, like,
yeah,
like before it was like reflex, like, don't die, and now it's like he gets out of the way, but it looks very fluid, like he knew it was coming and just cut off the tentacles, like, as a parry, like, you can't even hurt me.
Sure.
Yeah, he's like before, like you said, it was all reactive, trying to survive. Now it's always like, it's my turn now.
Okay, back in the real world, the alarm is still going off. There's kind of like a sobbing interstellar council person laying on the floor, and similar to what happened before, you hear footsteps coming from behind the door. And also Sully's unconscious on the floor.
In the wall.
Oh, yeah, he's in the wall. That's true.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think he came out. Well, Jyla, you want to set up a bomb again? And maybe we can get back in the wall here and get Sully and start moving?
You know I'm always happy to explode stuff.
I don't know if we're going to be able to move with him, though. It sounds like he's probably up to something in the cognitive realm there.
Well, at the very least, what we can do is we can fortify this room and keep him safe.
Sounds good to me.
Just tie a rope to my ankle and drag me as you crawl through.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand, because there's kind of like A or B here. Are you fortifying this room, or are you trying to make an escape?
Fortifying first.
Okay, so like barricading door, trying to seal that, and then you're going to try to leave?
See if we can, yes.
Well, I mean, you definitely can. You could drag Sully. That's an option. So that is doable. What does everyone want to do to try to fortify the room for right now?
Basically, I think the same as last time. Joe was setting a bomb by the door again.
Okay.
I got an 8.
All right. Malcolm?
I think Mal would be helping try to put things in the doorway to make it harder for them to open it, to give us more time.
Okay. So jamming up the gears, got it. And Vika?
I'm going to see if you'll let me do a twofer. I want to use portions of the comm panel to be put up against the door. So, like, maybe not fully destroying it, but making it harder if they do get in here to use communications.
Oh, I like that.
While putting more pieces up against the door frame.
I like that. So everyone do your rolls. Jyla got an 8. What about Mal and Vika? I'll say, Vika, you're rolling plus sharp, and Mal, you're rolling plus cool.
12.
Okay.
7. Barely.
Okay. So you do your best to jam up the doors, but it's not super easy because they're like behind panels. Meanwhile, Jyla has set up a pretty decent bomb, again, like shape charge faced at the door. And Vika, you're able to completely dismantle the communication terminal. Like, it's totally unusable now, and you in fact kind of intentionally break some very critical parts as you pile them up in front of the door, and all of you slip back into the tunnel and are there with Sully. Anything else that you all want to do?
Ooh, do you guys think it'd be worth it to do a smoke bomb in the room?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
Real quick, also, before we go back into the tunnel, I'm going to go up, after we've barricaded the door and on our way back to the tunnel, I'm going to go up to the guy that's still conscious and be like, I'm sorry about all this. I wish it could have happened differently, and I'm going to try to knock him out.
Okay. I'm just gonna let that happen. He's very wounded, and if you fail, I don't want you to just be like, well, if you fail, just hit him again. Just thunk, 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 thunk. At some point, he's laying on the ground.
Well, and he could literally hit him where I shot him, and that might cause enough pain to make him faint.
Yeah. He's
make him go into shock.
He's unconscious. That's fine.
I was just imagining I just kind of hit him with the butt of my traction blade thing.
Okay, sure.
If you hit him hard enough, you'll realign his key like in Doctor Strange and send him to the cognitive realm.
Jyla, roll your mad chemist thing to make a smoke bomb.
No, a smoke bomb is just a bomb I always have on me, actually. I just never use it.
Oh, never mind. Roll blast some baddies because you have to ruin my life with your cool abilities.
Yep, that's an 8. So the positive tags are cloaking and selective, which are status tags you can choose. The negative ones are foggy, it's hard to see if we were trying to do something, and smoky, so it's hard to breathe. We might cough, that sort of thing.
Okay, so if you're in this room, you would be coughing and your eyes would be watering, but if the bomb is successful, so you guys can't really be in this room now. You kind of need to scurry out into that access tunnel. Or power, distribution tunnel. So all of you are in the power distribution tunnel. Anything else you want to do?
Nope.
I'll take that resounding silence as a no.
Sorry, I was burping.
No, you're fine. Back in the...
No, stop.
Oh, sorry.
The only thing I would like to do is break out my map and, make sure to see if we're able to navigate towards the ship.
Okay, so your goal now is to get to the hangar bay?
I think so.
Okay. You start making your way that direction. It is slow going as you are both all crouched and also dragging an unconscious Sully. Back in the cognitive realm, there's a giant eyeball staring at you. You have dodged its first attack. What do you do?
I want to materialize hundreds of different blades that just cut off each tentacle it has spewing out of it.
Okay, I like that. Roll plus weird.
10.
Okay, so with a 10, you're again able to do a substantial amount of damage to this thing as it begins to launch tentacles out of it. But the choice now becomes slightly different. You can either do extra damage, you can cut off tentacles that are specifically because you can't cut off all of them all at once, because you can't just arbitrarily murder my monster.
No, you're fine.
I want to roll to win the game.
Right.
I'm just saying stuff that sounds creative.
No, I get you. So you can either specifically target tentacles that are encroaching on those two dudes, what are in the cage. You can cut off tentacles that are attacking you, or you can just across the board do extra damage.
I'll defend myself still.
Okay, so you're just avoiding damage.
Yeah, I'm going to avoid damage.
Okay. You're able to completely stave off the onslaught that's coming towards you almost effortlessly, but you hear screams, and then those screams cut off as the two people in the cage are surrounded by tentacles. As you look over, you see their eyes turn black, and the cage fall from around them. Yeah, and it's back around to you.
Can I pull someone in with me?
You can.
I'm going to pull Jyla in.
Roll plus weird.
That is a 6.
You do not. But what does happen is as you're dodging these tentacles, you kind of pause for a moment to try to attempt to drag Jyla into the cognitive realm. Jyla, you just kind of suddenly develop a splitting headache. Meanwhile, Sully, suddenly the full weight of this attack crashes in on you. You take 3 damage as, like,
ow.
I mean, a tidal wave of these tentacles smashes into you, crushing you to the floor, nearly suffocating you. Your last conscious thought before your vision is totally obscured by tentacles is the 2 figures that were in the cage fading away, as if they are falling out of the cognitive realm. Meanwhile, in the real world, or however we want to say it, you hear coughing and spluttering from the room where 2 people had previously passed out, and then, like, ferocious snarls as 2 figures smash into the access tunnel with you. They are not armed, but, like, black ichor is streaming from their eyes and from their mouth and from their ears as they snarl and rush towards you.
We hope you enjoyed this latest episode of Outlaws Wanted. Music for this show is from danosongs.com, audionautics.com, zapsplat.com, and in the public domain. If you like this show, you can check out more of our actual play podcasts at the Wandering Gamer Network's website or on Podbean. You can also interact with us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We also post Let's Play videos under our YouTube channel, the Wandering Gamer Network, and on Twitch we can be found at wandering_gamers. Now remember, it's not the outlaws that make trouble, it's trouble that makes the outlaws.